Are vaccine mandates an infringement on your rights?
That's a complicated question. I think it needs to be mandated for people that are, in offices and in schools and so forth, where they're in close proximity, because I don't think the masking is really a perfect solution by any means.
Would mandating the polio shots, would mandating the smallpox, would that be infringing on somebody's right? History proves that they were worthwhile, and I believe the COVID falls into the same category.
Well, I think we have collective rights as individuals, part of a society. We have collective rights to take care of one another. And when your individual rights actually impact the greater good of society, the collective rights are more important.
Yeah, I think people should get the vaccine, but at the same time, it's a free country. If you don't want to get it, that's on you. But if you care about other people, I think it's good to get it as well.
No, I think that those that do not get vaccinations are infringing on my rights and the rights of others to live. Both my sister and myself rely heavily on our health departments in Alberta, and the idea, especially for her right now, of her being turned away from the hospital for life-saving treatments because somebody decided that getting a vaccination infringed on their rights. Oh, don't get me started.
In a way, yes, but I don't think it has to be if people would get the right information and the correct knowledge of the vaccine instead of reading all the misinformation on the internet and such. I think the public health officials have had to force it a little, be more forceful about it because of too much misinformation.
Maybe, but I would like to be safe, so I don't care. If I have to have them done, I will. And if I need to travel and, I need them, I will do it.
I don't think the vaccine is an infringement on people's rights. I mean, I'd say that there's a lot of bigger problems out there in the world. We have bigger fish to fry, I guess, than, sitting down in a restaurant or going to the movies. But I don't know. If I could speak directly to some anti-vaxxers, I'd probably say that, yeah, I don't think it's the biggest issue in the world. I think that, if it's one prick in the arm and maybe we can solve some problems, then why not? It's worth whatever risks that some people think that there's there. So I would just recommend to go ahead and get the shot.
I think it's for the safety for the greater good. So I think the government, it depends. If everybody is forced to get one, I think that is an infringement to a certain extent. But if it's mandatory for only certain environments, then I don't think so.
Well said. And what about you?
And we're giving options. Mandatory, yes. Mandatory is a strong word, but you can choose in most cases to have the vaccine or prove that you have a negative test. So that's the balance that we've created in our society, and it is for the greater good. So the current laws, I think, are great.
So I definitely think that it's necessary, particularly for our economy and the health of our children. People are passing that off to their children who are not vaccinated going home. I have a sister in Alberta. It's a crisis mode there right now.
No, I don't believe so. We both work in restaurants, so we think it's a good safety measure to allow us to stay open, I guess, and have jobs.
Yeah. Great answer. And how about you?
I don't think it's an infringement on rights. I know it's tough for people, but I do think it's necessary to protect vulnerable populations and our economy stuff. And I think it's the bigger picture of if certain people get COVID and end up really, really sick, it's I don't know why we would do something to not protect them kind of thing. So I do agree with that. I know it's tough, but on private property, I kind of understand, and there's options for people. They can still sit outside and do all that kind of stuff. So I do agree with that.
It depends where. If it's a private business, government business, or government entity, sure it can be. If it's a private business, it should be up to them. If it always depends on the situation. Completely depends on the situation and where you're trying to enforce it.
Well, I'm a pharmacist, so I believe in vaccinations, so that's all I can say.
And how about
so you got to try and save most of the people and be
Yeah, I agree with that, but I don't think they should force me to have one to do what I want to do. I mean, not, you know, I mean, I agree with the vaccine. I mean, I had to have one to even be here, but I don't think I should be forced to have it.
I had to do it for my job. I didn't want to do it, but I had to do it to keep my job. But if there's a way that we can get rid of that, then it would obviously make a lot of things easier for everyone. So
there are certain people who are Roman Catholic who believe it's a matter of personal conscience, and that I should have the right to say no. And then there are other people, like a member in my family, who says basically, I don't want to have anything to do with you if you're not taking your shot, you know? So I think right now I'm just siding towards the jabs.
It is not a government responsibility, it is not your responsibility, it is not every citizen should take their responsibility. They should understand it is our responsibility, because of there is nothing important than our health. So definitely every citizen should take the responsibility and get vaccinated without any force.
The actual virus is real. Of course, as many people have suffered family losses, job losses because of it. But it's been abused, and it's been the first time that where a vaccine has actually had to be mandated for everyone federally, myself included, because I work for the railway. So as a federally mandated employee, I had no choice. It was either lose my job or get the vaccine, which I still don't fully trust because there's just too much secrecy around it.
I think any kind of imposition where the government influences a person's ultimate decision regarding their own health is an infringement upon their own ability to make their own decisions.
Yeah, not saying that we don't agree with vaccines completely. Like, all our kids are vaccinated and everything. Like, it's we totally see the value in vaccines, but it is kind of troublesome. Like, the mandates do bother us.
Vaccines are an amazing invention of Western civilization. Like, we're so much better off because of vaccines.
For sure.
But that doesn't mean that people that are against them should be, forced to take them if they're uncomfortable with it.
A prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself, but the simple pass on and are punished.